It really becomes wider when the dynamic range becomes wider. Hey everybody, and welcome once again to a new video of Snake Oil, my not weekly anymore series in which I test plugins and see if they are any good. And today we're having a plugin that almost can't be not good. And that's one of the metering plugins from Meterplugs.com, the Dynameter. See the dynamics of your music in real time. How does it work? See Dynameter in action. I don't see the... there it is.
Dynameter is not a loudness meter.
Not? Okay.
Instead, as the name suggests, Dynameter shows you the dynamics of your music in real time. Checking that the PSR of your music doesn't fall too low is a very reliable way of making sure it's got great dynamics.
So this is actually measuring if there are enough transients in the music. From what I hear of this, we can test that.
PSR and PLR play a crucial role in deciding how loud your music will be played by online music streaming services like YouTube, Spotify, Pandora, Apple and Tidal, which use loudness management for a better user experience, stopping you being blasted by sudden changes in level. Because going forward, loudness is going to become a less and less important factor for your music. What will matter in the future is understanding dynamics. And that is where Dynameter comes in.
I cannot agree more with them. Go watch the videos of the Dynameter, I will link them below. You know, that's also the problem there is in the business right now, is that we finally put the last nail in the loudness war coffin, and right now we're all in panic to see how we are going to make our music more dynamic and how to measure it and what we're going to do about it. And this could be a valuable tool to do this. Is that a waveform? No! So what exactly does Dynameter show? Dynameter displays a measurement called PSR. The difference between the peak level and loudness higher PSR ratings are typically found with more dynamic frequencies, whereas heavily limited material usually shows lower PSR values. Dynameter measures the PSR in real time and also displays a color-coded history graph, giving an intuitive snapshot view of the dynamic profile of your music. That's something we need to keep in mind, because from the video we just saw that it's some sort of a waveform, but it actually doesn't work that way. Let's start using it. Alright, so I've got a few tracks. They are all named Sandstorm by The Root, and they all have different dynamic characters, so we can really see the differences between them and what the Dynameter says and does. What I already know is that it's a pretty difficult plugin to understand, so let's hope that I can understand it during this video and that you will also learn more about this plugin. So here it is on my screen. I've got a 13-inch screen if you haven't noticed it already, and this is the size of the plugin. I cannot make it bigger or smaller. That would maybe be a nice addition to the plugin, to stretch it out, to make it big. So when I'm working, I'm sitting over here normally mixing, not with my laptop, and my analyzers are on that screen. So I need to look pretty far away. So maybe a bit bigger is the maybe. All right. That being said, let's run some audio through it. Okay. Wow. Maybe it isn't that difficult to understand, because it is doing exactly what I was expecting it to do. It really becomes wider when the dynamic range becomes wider. Let's try a different track which is a bit more flat, this one. Okay, so this one is pretty flat, but here's the thing. What I'm wondering is, how does the plugin adapt to volume changes? For instance, when I turn down the level, so the main level over here, then it's less loud, of course, but it's still flat, so it should say the same, right? Let's put it down 5 decibels. Let's see what it does. Whoa, that's cool! Normally I'm using a LOUDNESS meter, a AES 128 loudness meter. And this isn't the loudness meter, and that's pretty clear right now. And the loudness metering norm has been made for broadcasting. In Europe, we wanted to match the program material with the commercial materials. And for that it's pretty handy, because you can change the volume to match the loudness of the audio of several tracks. For that it's handy. But for music, it isn't that handy, because we actually want to know the exact dynamic range and loudness of the material, even when adjusting it with a fader, because that is actually what Spotify and stuff is doing. They are lowering the volume to get the same LOFS score, but we just want to know the dynamic range of our music. Do you still understand me? And the Dynameter is a plugin that you cannot fool with just some volume buttons. You really need to work hard to get some dynamics to really get it in the green. Right now I've got it set to YouTube, so we can select several platforms. We can choose Apple AES norm, so I think this is some sort of an AES norm, not the loudness norm. We can use Tidal, we can use YouTube, we can use Spotify. I hope this is the new or the old norm, I don't know. Dynameter will know that. And we also have presets for balanced, competitive, limited, and that changes the target PSR. And PSR was the short term, and this is also displaying the short term, and PLR, that is this meter, is the long term. I think that's the easiest way to say it. I know it's more difficult than that, but as a quick reminder you can say S is for short and L is for long. So what this PSR does, it sets the wideness of these white lines. So if we set it to 5, we can be much less dynamic. The higher the value you enter in there, the more dynamic you have to be to match it. So let's make an example for the long-term measurement. This track has got a dynamic intro and a not so dynamic kind of drop, as we can see over here. And the PLR is for that kind of stuff. It will be the average, the thing everybody looks at, because Spotify, YouTube, the whole smash looks at the averages. If we wanted to release it on Spotify, we need to hit the average PLR of that yellow thing over there. And we can see that these white arrows, they show us the PLR. So if these white arrows line up exactly with this yellow arrows, we will be all set to release the music on Spotify. They won't do anything with it. So now, but we're not done with the measurement, because now the loud part is coming. And you can see it will line up perfectly. Now it's a bit too loud. So that's really amazing. It's a whole different way to looking at the dynamics of your track and analyzing the dynamics of your track. Because what the whole audio engineering society found was that measuring volume, measuring technical things of audio is pretty easy with a ppm, a RMS meter, etc. But actually dynamics and loudness perception are a bit difficult to firstly measure and then to understand them. And this is one of the ways to better look at the loudness of your track. Other ways are of course an LOFS meter. They go for a whole lot of different prices, and I'm pretty sure that there will be other manufacturers that will make a different visualization, and that doesn't matter. What does matter is that you pick one and learn to work with it. Learn really hard to work with it and use it as a sort of constant in all of your sessions. Right now for me that's the Isotope Insight. I cannot use the Dynameter right now because I need to upgrade my setup, but that's something for the future. I'm still not for this video. So that being said, the Dynameter sells for 99 euros, which is pretty decent price for such a plugin. If you're working day in and day out in mastering, mostly mastering, but maybe also in mixing, it can be pretty handy to have. But then again, there are more solutions, so it's up to you to decide. The only thing I can say is that it isn't snake oil and it really does what the manufacturer says it does. So a big thumbs up and a big thanks to Meterplugs for handing me out this plugin, and also a bit of support because they explained a lot about the plugin for me. So thank you guys for that. If you like this, please let me know in the comments, and if you got subjects for future snake oil videos, also let me know in the comments. Give me a thumbs up, consider supporting me on Patreon and checking my other videos, of course. I want to thank you all for watching and want to say bye bye.